It's YouTube Wednesday!
Okay, I'm doing a head cast in silicone because I want to be able to use it multiple times. I like to get more than one plaster head copy out of a mold. The silicone mold I have of my head, I bet I pulled 30 plaster copies out of it already. But what you see me doing now is I'm mixing up silicone. It is Gel 10 silicone. It is, I get mine from Bitty Mold Supply. It's a platinum-based silicone. You don't want to use a tin-based silicone on skin, so look that up when you're getting your silicones. But if you just go with Gel 10, that's a really good way to go. The model has been prepped by wearing a garbage bag over their shoulders. That's cut. And I simply used packing tape and saran wrap over top of the head. I find that is, the little wrinkles and stuff that you get that you don't get with a bald cap, I just smooth out with plaster in the plaster copy. The expense and time that it takes to get the bald cap on correctly is pretty daunting for most people, and you really don't even need it. As long as you get all the hair covered, you're good. And make sure that you Vaseline eyebrows, eyelashes, and Vaseline is the best way to go. You can also use cholesterol from Beauty Supply Store. I like Gel 10 silicone because it's a 50-50 mix. You will see helping me Alex Lohman from 13th Street Morgue, which is a haunted house in Red Oak, Texas, which is very good. 13th Street Morgue is inside of Reindeer Manor Abusement Park. And Alex runs a really good show. And he's also a good friend. The person that I am head casting is Jim Shackelford. And he works with me at House of Boo and Haunt 2013. He's one of the owners. So, filming, who you do not see, is Michael Edwards of the Haunt House. It is not uncommon for us to get together here in Texas, different haunt owners, and we have a lot to learn from each other and share with each other. And it's good to have help who already knows what they're doing. So, I suggest I hope all haunts get along about the same. So what you're seeing us do first is we've poured it over his head, and we're using sticks to spread it out. It's a little bit sticky, so you don't want to use your hand like you would if you were using alginate. The main difference between alginate and this is that if it were alginate, we'd be using our hands to spread it around. Once the first layer dried, which takes about 5 or 6 minutes, we mixed up a second batch. All right, and I'm changing colors in the batches by adding color to it, so that I can see where I went. Now that I'm putting on red, I'm not going to get mixed up and think the new stuff is blue. So that's changing colors of batches. It's a very good way to go. And like I said, it is Gel 10 silicone. We did put in thickener with it. We used Tin Thicks thickener, also from Bitty Mold Supply. It's just 4 or 5 drops. We've added to B before we're mixing, simply because, it's good to know which one you're adding stuff to. You saw Jim do a quick hand gesture there. It is so important to keep talking to your model. It is very important to keep talking to your model, to keep them calm and comfortable. It's not a good idea to play a joke on a model in a head cast. It can be very frightening for them if they're claustrophobic. At any point in time, if they wanted to, they could rip it all off their face. So you have to be kind of careful about jokes or trying to freak them out or putting weird smells under their nose. You need to talk to them and keep them calm. The hand gestures that you saw him do is that if he points to his wrist like that, that meant, and we set this up ahead of time, how long have I been in? How much longer do I have? And then I'll always ask, how you doing in there? How are you doing? And that's thumbs up or thumbs down. And, that's a very simple way. Or if you shake your hand back and forth like, okay, then I'll ask what I can do. Are they hot? Are they cold? because you can slip the garbage bag in the back a little bit to give them a little more air. And here we're going with a third batch, which is blue. We're just simply rotating between colors. Gel 10 is a great material to use for this because it mixes 50-50. So I use volume. If you fill two of the same cup, the same amount from A and from B, then you're going to get a good mix. Now, Gel 10 sets very quickly. You can see that what we're doing is trying to spread out a nice even layer, trying to get it evenly everywhere. The only thing we're not covering is the nostrils. The only thing we're not covering is nostrils. But Gel 10 sets very quickly, which is one of the reasons why I do like it for a head cast. I even thought alginate took too long to set, and it was, a lot of excess time waiting for it to firm up. But Gel 10, you have about a minute to mix it, and then you better start getting it on, because it'll start firming up in about 5 minutes. So what you see here is we're doing, the Gel 10 is done. What we're doing is a plaster mother mold or jacket mold for this. You take your plaster bandages and you fold them over 3 times. So it's not one thickness of plaster bandage, it's 3 thicknesses of plaster bandage. And you dunk them in water, and then squeeze them to wring them out, and then walk them over and lay them out. You want the edge, see that line between, where the back half starts actually? That's plaster bandage. You want that to be a folded edge. So fold that piece in half. You want that one long piece so it's folded in half. And then we're using warm water to dip them in, and we are rubbing them a lot. The friction created from rubbing them down actually helps them kick faster. You can get your plaster bandages to set in about 10-12 minutes if you use good hot water and rub the bandages a good bit once they're on. That'll really help activate everything. It's a chemical process that's happening, and basically if you can rub it, then the crystallization, everywhere it's crystallizing, will start crystallizing the area next to it. So if you rub it around, you're really spreading that firming up infection. So that's half the head cast mother mold done. The silicone's already done. And currently I am Vaselining the edge right there. Vaselining the edge because I want an overlap. I want the overlap so I know where to put it together the next time, and it really holds together for me well for itself. And again, that edge right there is folded, because that's the first part of the front of the face. And we're making sure it adheres well down to the silicone and goes all the way down and covers all the silicone. And we're just using piece after piece in order to cover the head. Going up under the chin. One of the tougher areas to do is up underneath of the chin, because obviously anything you put there wants to sag down. So it's very important that you put it on and then rub it to firmly attach it to everywhere else. I'm about to do the nose here, and the way you do the nose, you have to leave the nostrils open because they like to breathe. You can see I have a little piece that I just put a twist in to make it look kind of like a bow tie or like bow tie pasta. And once I do that, that twist goes right there between the nostril holes, which I left open. And you really want to get as close as you can because you don't want a deformed nose. So get as close as you can with the nostrils. And it looked like for a second that I covered the nose, but I did not. We want Jim to live. And it's very simply rubbing it down, and that's going to help everything kick and cure faster. And you can see right now we're just in a waiting pattern for those bandages to kick. Because if you hustle, you can apply them in 5 minutes. Then you got to hang out for 5 minutes. So 5 or 10. And we're making sure all areas are equally thick with the plaster bandage. That's a big deal because this is the strength, and this is what's going to help hold the shape of it. when I pour one up, which I'll get to in another video here real soon, I will electrical tape around it just to hold it together. I might use some old banding strap, but that's a lot of pressure for just a headphone. Alright, we are knocking it out. Last bit there. A person's going to be in material for between half an hour to 50 minutes. So they should know you're going to have your eyes closed. You're going to not be able to talk to us. It's very important that you reassure your model and talk to them the entire time. Let them know what stage they're going to. Let them know if they're about to feel something weird. I'm about to start knocking on this. You can hear the whole time. It's muffled, but you can hear. We're starting to take it off. Just using a little screwdriver to pop the edges apart. They've already been Vaseline, so that's not a big, hard deal. And then I'm just using my hands to move the pieces apart. And now Alex has left his on there because we're going to cut the back of it. And then he's going to lean forward, and we're having him move his face now. He's moving his face. He's making big facial expressions. We're cutting the back. I'll show you making a head out of a head form here soon, but I want to show you guys how to make the head cast today. And now basically I have scissors I'm cutting part of the way, and then I have a popsicle stick or my finger that I'm putting up underneath of the head cast. And then I'm cutting up to that. So I'm going to cut anything, I'm going to cut my finger and not his head. Once you get it high enough, basically it's a slit silicone mask. So it's got some adhesion just because of vacuum and being in nooks and crannies. But if they move their face and breathe, they shouldn't have a problem taking it off. And here he has emerged alive and victorious, and we have our head cast. Show you the rest later. Thanks for watching.